Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. So yes, you see what is on the screen here. Now I got all set up to do my video about what it was yesterday and the events for leveling up the independent archives. Then this happened. So I just decided to roll with that video from yesterday and make another video today about this Cardassian Battle Pass event. And yeah, it's getting 2 thumbs down and 2 middle fingers up. That's right, so soon, another episode of What Was You Thinking? Yeah, because the bullshit surrounding this event, I think, warrants it. It warrants a What Were You Thinking? Yes, what were you thinking running Cardassian, or the Hostile Hunt Cardassian Edition Battle Pass event during Saris Invasion? What were you thinking? Because what happens during Saris Invasion? The Fatu Cray take over systems. Certain systems, not every level, or yes, technically every level has a system, but they're spread out throughout the galaxy. Which, to a certain extent, makes sense because you don't want them all showing up in Xindi space, or them all showing up in faction space, all showing up in Borg space, and then you can't do like all of those because none of those levels, or none of those systems, depending on our level, have any Borg hostiles in them, or Xindi hostiles, or whatever. So yeah, you spread it out. What? You run this event, and you take up the level 50 Cardassian system. And there is only one. And the next level system, the next highest system down, because there isn't one up, is 45. Yes, this deserves a What Were You Thinking? Well, two reasons. One, very obvious reason, because you screwed it up. And two, something like this has happened before. They've run a Lost Style event during this. And while, yes, there are several Lost Style systems, there's only 2 60s and you take away one, and there's only one level 60 system. Well, how many level 60 pluses are on a server? Depends on the server. Like the newest of new servers isn't going to give a shit. But the oldest of old servers, or even a server like mine, 4-year-old server, we got lots of 60s on here. Especially because we just went through a damn merger. So we got like about 100. That's a lot of your activity. That's a lot of your active accounts. You got 100 G6 players, and you're going to screw them over like that? Yeah, I mean, sure, there's a certain part of the population that isn't going to give a shit because it doesn't affect it. But there's a certain population that's going to give a shit. Tough shit. Again, it isn't just because it happened this time. It's happened more than once. And you've done nothing to fix it. I don't like the Saris Invasion. I feel like I need 105 million of those eye patch bullshits a day while the event's running. And it's like, I don't feel like doing it because I can get 500,000 from the hostile drop. Okay. Which is not terrible, I guess. Of course, I only have 2.5 million in the cargo bay of a warship. And I can get 1.5 million from the hostile box, which, okay, there's a lot there, but I need 105 million, and the most I can get from killing a hostile is 2 million. Yeah, doesn't sound like fun to me. Right? Because at some point, only going to get 105 million, or 1.5 million. Because that 5 from killing a hostile ain't going to go into my cargo bay, because the cargo bay full. But again, same mistakes made over and over again. Thing with the Fatu Cray with me is something that happened with the hell those assholes, the Jem'Hadar hostiles and the antimatter units. The same thing happened. What did they do? They divided everything by 10. The amount of loot gained from the hostiles, the amount of loot you needed to refine every day, and the amount... Yeah. I was going to list the third thing, and I forgot the third thing already. They just divided everything by 10. So instead of getting 70,000 a hit, you got 7,000 a hit. But at a certain level, you didn't need 100,000 to refine every day. You only needed 10,000. Because again, you divided everything by 10. It just worked. Because cargo bays aren't that big. When you make multiple trips out there, no. And you know what? When the big, at that point, G5 players? I guess they were G5 players, complained about it. You changed it just like that. Anybody remember that? How quick did they change those numbers? Not going to do anything about it now. Why? Because, well, they don't give a shit. And apparently enough of you are not complaining because you're okay with it. Not sure why. What? Whatever. Need to complain about that anymore. I'm still annoyed. But at the same time, I don't really see the reward for that event, so I don't really care. Back to today's video. And this Cardassian bullshit. And why it really pisses me off is it's part of an ongoing problem. A problem that's been a problem for several years, almost as long as they've had a battle pass. You think about, yes, okay, they did make the Cardassian hostiles and systems somewhat recent, depending on a few years ago. It hasn't always been a battle pass event. It has essentially replaced one or even two other events. Eclipse. You don't see any more Eclipse. Kill Eclipse hostile in a battle pass, do you? No. You don't see any more kill the worm hostiles in the battle pass. It used to be one too. It did. Part of the reason why they changed was why they went from Eclipse to worms to now Cardassians. Cardassians. What did I say? Whatever I said. Is because the limit on the hostiles. Eclipse hostiles don't go above 40. The Armadas do, but the hostiles do not. It's an issue with the ticket event, in my opinion. Of course, they won't change it, because again, they don't give a shit. The worms were the same problem. It doesn't go above 46. Now, there were two systems. Excuse me. Which was nicer because, again, two systems to go to instead of one here with the Cardassian. But then they made the Cardassian replace them, and it's it's the same problem. It's the same. You literally just put a teeny tiny Band-Aid over a huge gaping wound. What were you thinking? Fix the problem. You stupid idiots. And you know what? Maybe it isn't because they're stupid. They just don't give a shit. They literally put a teeny tiny Band-Aid over a huge gaping wound. What is the problem? Again, the hostiles and the systems do not go above a certain level. Well, players level up. Right? They level up because they want to. They level up because they're encouraged to. Which is fine. You want to encourage players to level up because the likelihood of them buying packs and, paying you so you can provide for your family, the likelihood of that is increased. Yeah, duh. Players are going to level up. They're going to out-level these systems if you stop them at a certain point. You stop Eclipse at 40, you know what? People surpassed it. Sure, the new servers maybe haven't surpassed it yet, but a 4-year-old or even older server has passed it a long time ago. Same thing with the worms. You stopped them at 46. Of course, now that was a, we'll call it a feature or a loop maybe, that did not pan out as well as they would have liked. I thought it was a fairly neat-ish event at the time. I do think part of it kind of got, overplayed. It was like too much because there were tokens involved, which the tokens weren't too difficult to get, but then it just, it just kept running too often. But again, you stopped them at a certain level, 46. Again, look, if people were out level on a level 40 system or a level 40 set of hostiles, how long do you think before they out level a level 46 set of hostiles? Okay, maybe it'll take a while, but again, you've only bought yourself a few months. You buy yourself, 6 months? Again, a band-aid over a huge gaping wound. And then you go from the level 46 hostiles to level 50? What the hell were you thinking there? Again, we went from worms as the Battle Pass event to now Cardassians. How long did you really think it was going to be until we outleveled the Cardassians? Oh, I'm level 62. You can see how many points I need. 30. 30 million. And you know what? The points per hostile don't go up. They stay the same. The threshold that you need to complete gets higher with level, which is really the problem. Like, if you stopped it at a level 50, like if I had to score points the same amount of points as, let's say, a level 50, then there really wouldn't be a problem, because I wouldn't have to score 30 million. I'd have to score like 20 mil or 15. I don't even know how many a level 50 needs to score. I have no idea. It's been so long since I was level 50. Somewhere between 15 and 20 million, which would be a lot easier than 30 million. You got to think about it. I got to kill at least 60 hostiles in one system, where how many people on my server need to be now? Especially since you just merged us. Yeah, man, that's hard. I mean, forget the fact that people go in there in PvP, which is fine. That's part of the game. How many hostiles spawn in that system compared to how many people need to go in there and kill said hostiles? A lot. A lot. Again, that is part of the problem. You made one system. And how many of us have already out-leveled it? Well, we have at least maybe not at least. I want to say there were 96 that scored points in that leaderboard. Now, 96 that scored points. So we got about 100 G6 players. That's kind of a lot to be over 60. Are there servers with more? Sure. I bet you there are. It's not like I go in and count them all. But 100 G6 players, that's kind of a lot. And here you are making them all fight in this level 50 system. Not even a level 60 system. A level 50 system. Because why? Because, well, you didn't want to make the systems higher. You didn't want to make them bigger. You didn't want to make more than one system. You didn't want to make the systems ascend with a server. Because that is a thing. Servers ascend. Some of these new servers can't go beyond, 39? 39 is still G3. They can't enter G4 yet. Because not enough of the population is in the right position. They don't want 139 and then ascend the server and he can go up to, or she can go up to level 50 or whatever. You still got 99% of the population at like level 24. They don't want that, because how many of those people are going to still play the game with that level 50 crushing everybody? At least that's the idea. So could you have certain systems like, say, Cardassian Eclipse, Worms? Could you have them ascend to make some of these events a little more easier for, let's say, a G6? Because this is more of a G4 thing. Or because you want Eclipse to still be a thing that's more of a G3 thing. Well, I mean, G3 and G6, man, that ain't compatible no more. Could you evolve the hostiles? Could you? Yeah, sure. You could. You could evolve the systems, or you could just, add systems. And maybe make them appear only when the server ascends. You could do that. You could. Don't tell me it's not doable. Look here, Bajor, it starts at level 20. What were you thinking when you started this shit at level 20? I mean, come on now. I mean, I know you made it 2 years ago and you want a lot of people to engage with this part of the galaxy, with this part of the galaxy. But you could have made it 30. You could have made it 30. I mean, how long does it take to get to level 30 nowadays? Free to play. Not saying that you need to buy anything. Of course, I don't know if they've changed it, but back in the day when I bought the second builder and the second researcher, it cost $25 at checkout. I don't know what it costs now, which is fairly low for as much use as you can get out of a second researcher and a second builder. But you could make this a level 30. You could do it right now. I mean, especially on my server. You could make this a level 30. And just increase all the systems by 10 here in this Cardassian system. Section. Part of space. Whatever you want to call it. And then Rudelia here would essentially be a level 60 system and to make the battle pass so much easier for us. Because right now it's a pain in the damn ass. And I know what some of you out there are saying. Oh, just run the armadas. You're fucking shitting me, right? You're fucking with me. That's what you think the battle pass should be? Spend epic directives. Wow. Is that how a lot of people do it? Yes. That is absolutely how a lot of people do it. Should that be how you do the battle pass? No. I don't agree with that. For certain players, like, let's say, me, sure. Maybe you can convince me of that. But I am a spender. What about the free-to-play? How many epic directives do they have? Expect them to have a lot of epic directives? I don't. And you want them to use it for Battle Pass event? Oh, just make them get online when you're online. Yeah. Sure. Go ahead. No. The Battle Pass needs to be much easier to complete than any other event that ever runs, really. Battle Pass needs to be some of the easiest, most completable events ever. I mean, I think they need to be even more doable than your daily hostile kills. Because otherwise you completely diminish the purpose of the Battle Pass event. I mean, the sole purpose of that is to get people to engage with the events and the arc itself. You have other events to make things more difficult for players. To make players, like say leaderboards and heroic SMSs. To make some people want to spend some dollars. Yeah. But what were you thinking when... I tell you what, you weren't thinking. You were setting it to forget it. That's part of the problem. Because, of course, you go from Eclipse to Worms to Cardassians. You didn't increase the level enough. Yes, it was going to be a problem again. There was a reason why, Eclipse Battle Pass events became a problem. There's a reason why Worm Battle Pass events became a problem. There is a reason why Cardassian Battle Pass is now a problem. So wrapping this up here, do a more permanent fix. There are ways. There are absolutely ways. You could essentially, as I say, evolve the certain sections of space where this Battle Pass events take place. You could do that. Or, you know what? Just another suggestion. Add Zindy to scoring. They go all the way up to 62. Big gap between 50 and 62. Right? Now, yes, it's going to become a problem when you had a bunch of people, how many people above 62? It's a little longer away than, going from 40 to 46 to 50. I mean, what do you do after that? Well, I mean, maybe here, of course, you only got 165. Maybe just add some multipliers. Certain officers grinding said hostiles get you X amount of points. Could that work? Could having Gold Ducat as captain? Sure, why not? I mean, if you're a big enough player, it doesn't matter what your officers are. You could do that. Or Cisco. I'm just saying that because of, the Cardassian event and what section of space this is. More popular in Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine officers on the bridge. Get you an X amount of point multiplier. You could absolutely do that. You need to keep up with the times. You set some of these events and then you kind of forget about them until they become a problem. The Thursday Eclipse event. What do we call it? Apex event. It's an old ass event that has evolved over time. But it did take a while for them to get shit together. Even with some of the rewards and making G6 or G5 available in the rewards. The same with, I forget all the interim events now. Faction Hunt and Crucible War. You just let things slip your mind too much. However, please comment below. What are some of the solutions that you have maybe thought of to combat the, we'll say, suckiness of the Cardassian Battle Pass event? Or do you think it's a wonderful event and you think everybody else needs to shut up and quit complaining? Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.